Hey guys, this is AuspiciousAussie and welcome to a Pokemon Red version playthrough walkthrough series I'm going to be doing. I've stopped making Football Manager episodes simply because no one wants to really see FM13 videos, and I'm not actually going to buy FM14 um, it, till it seems a little less buggy than it is now. I've seen a few people that have had just like not big issues, but just issues that would probably take a little bit of enjoyment out of the game for me, and I don't really want to do that. Um, I want to have a full experience of Football Manager, but anyways, this is Pokemon Red version, of course. Most people played this version when they were a lot younger, like myself, so it's pretty nostalgic coming back to it, and I had a lot of good times playing with like my friends and stuff on our Game Boy Colors back when I was like, probably like 5 or 6 years old. Started up until probably about 12 or something. It's pretty amazing, to be honest. Obviously, I think it came out in Japan in 1995, and it came out everywhere else in like, I think it was 98, I think. Um, so yeah, I was probably about 5 years old when it came out, and yeah, had some really great times, and lots of hours I spent playing it. But yeah, anyway, let's get into it. Of course, you have your rival. I'm just going to start a new game here. And I've got Professor Oak here. Everybody should know him. If you don't, then you're probably more familiar with the newer generations of the game. Of course, this is Generation 1. And some people actually don't know what Pokemon stands for, which is interesting. Um, in Japan, it was actually not called Pokemon to start with. It was called Pocket Monsters, which if you look at Pokemon, it's like an abbreviation of it. Um, and yeah, it's just a little fact that some people actually don't know that it stands for Pocket Monsters, um, but it does. And first of all, we've got to put our name in here. Of course, it's a male character, pretty sexist to the female Pokemon players out there. But I'm just going to put in my real name right now. Just chuck in Josh. Would have put auspicious in there, but it's a bit too long. And obviously the rival, probably just name him Gary. Don't really have a good name for him. Pretty original, aren't I? Anyway, he's a smart kid, Gary. Chooses his Pokemon second, and always chooses the better, well, the super effective type to the Pokemon you choose. He's also a bit of a prick, but that's a story for another day. And really need to change the speed of the text because this is really slow. Of course, I am playing on an emulator on my computer, so I could actually use the spacebar to speed things up. But I think that would take a little bit of enjoyment away from everything if I went to like 1,000 times speed or something like that. Now, before actually, I should have changed that. Before we head off, I'm going to go up to this PC. For those of you that didn't know, you actually start off with a potion in there. So I'm just going to grab that and withdraw one potion, and that should come in handy, especially as we have to verse Gary straight away. And that's all we need there. So we're just going to head out now and go and find Professor Oak. But he's not actually at his what's it called, like, laboratory, I guess. Um, yeah, I'd call it a laboratory, not an office. It's actually in this tall grass up here, and he'll stop us. Hey, wait, don't go out. There's wild Pokemon out there, you'll get your ass kicked. It's an old man, so he's taking his merry time. It's basically just telling you what I just told you, and he'll give us a Pokemon for our protection. Of course, the three Pokemon that I get to choose from are Bulbasaur, Charmander, sorry, and Squirtle. Seeing as we're playing Pokemon Red, I think it's only fitting that I choose Charmander, which will mean Gary will choose, there he is, that prick, he'll choose Squirtle, simply because water is super effective against fire. But eventually I'll get a Charizard, hopefully. He'll get a Blastoise as well, but um, having a dual type will be quite beneficial. This first episode is probably going to be a little bit long because I just want to give you guys a proper introduction to the series and how everything's going to go from this point. There's a lot of just dialogue here. Blah 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 blah. It's basically just talking crap. Of course, the three Pokemon I mentioned, there's Charmander. Gonna choose him straight away, but of course there is Bulbasaur and Squirtle next to him. Want the fire Pokemon, Charmander? Yes, I do. Really energetic. Now, supposedly, the three Pokemon, um, some of them are easier to use than others. Like, people say that Bulbasaur is better for beginners, and Squirtle's for the more intermediate player, whereas Charmander's probably for players that want more of a challenge, or the more expert players, I guess. So I guess I'm being a bit of a badass by choosing Charmander. But anyway, having a Charizard's pretty cool. So obviously, just going to talk to Oak, and then I'm going to head off. And as I try to, Gary's going to want to fight. There we go. And we'll get our first battle. The first time we get to see Charmander in action. Bring it on, Gary, bring it on. So what I mean is I can actually speed things up like that. Quite fast, it's at 500% normal time. I may do it occasionally for power training, if I do that on camera, which I don't. Ooh, so this is what I mean. Got to use an item now, so I'm going to use that potion just to get back to full health. And he used Tail Whip to lower my defense, which is probably why he's kicking my ass at the moment. That was a nice critical hit, and we've beaten him. Perfect. Charmander's grown a level, and we've defeated Gary. Now, of course, if people don't know, you can actually black out, which is when all your Pokemon are fainted. In this case, they only actually have one, so if Charmander did lose all his HP, he would cause me to black out. And if you black out, you lose some money, and you go back to the last Pokemon Center that you used. So obviously I haven't used any, so I'd probably just head back to my house. I'm just wait for Gary to walk off there. I think if you talk to this guy, maybe, I think I'm mistaken, it's actually one of the guys further up. A guy on this path that you walk will actually, or first we have to get the old town map from Gary's sister. Oops. And I think she'll give it to me. Or actually, she might give it later. Anyway, we'll head north now. And we've got our first wild battle. It's just a Rattata. I'm going to try and beat it anyway. And there we go. Beat the Rattata. And Charmander's grown to level 7, so pretty decent start. Of course, this is the guy you talk to. Talk to this guy and grab another potion. He gives it to you for free. And I'm going to change my text in a second, because this is kind of frustrating. Cheers for the potion, mate. And we'll just change that quickly now. Just check it on fast. Make sure it's on it. Yep, perfect. Alright. Obviously walking this tall grass will cause you to fight Pokemon. So we've got a Pidgey now. I'll probably catch a Pidgey eventually. Probably be the first Pokemon I catch. Simply because a Pidgeot is its final evolution. And it's actually it's a pretty badass Pokemon, I have to say. It's quite strong at its final form. And yeah. Obviously you can teach it Fly, because it's a flying Pokemon. And Fly is actually a HM. I think they're called hidden moves. I think that's what their proper name is. And obviously you can get TMs, which is technical move. I might be wrong. If I'm wrong and you know the actual name for it, can you leave it in the comment section below? I'd appreciate it. And obviously the graphics, I didn't mention the graphics, but they're pretty poor compared to like some of the new Pokemon games that are out there. But it's still pretty, good, I guess. Obviously Pokemon Yellow. I also had Pokemon Yellow when I was a kid, and sorry, and yeah, the graphics were a little bit changed in that version. They added colors to it, which was, I guess, a little bit. It's better for your eyes, I guess, than constantly seeing this dark, gloomy state. Anyway, this Pokemon Pokemon cashier, is has a delivery for Professor Oak, and he wants us to take it back to Pallet Town and give it to him. So we're going to head back down and give it to Professor Oak. And in turn, he'll actually give us a Pokédex to record all of our Pokemon captures and all the Pokemon we actually find in the wild. And of course, the main goal for Pokemon is to actually catch them all. That's the slogan. Got to catch them all. And yeah, I don't think it's actually possible to catch all of the Pokemon, because you need to get some from other versions or something like that, and you need to actually trade certain Pokemon to evolve them. So obviously that won't be the goal for this series. The goal for this series is more just to beat the Pokemon League, maybe capture a few of the rare Pokemon, like the legendary birds, Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres, and also try and capture Mewtwo once we actually beat the Pokemon League. So that should be fun. But anyway, it's probably a bit ahead of myself there. Just starting off, got to beat that first gym leader, Brock, and he's going to be quite tough with Charmander. Of course, if you do choose Bulbasaur or Squirtle, you will actually probably beat Brock quite easily, as he has two rock Pokemon, and their attacks are super effective against them. Whereas Charmander's Ember that he learns is not effective at all. So it's going to be tough to beat him, but anyway, that's a little bit in the future. Still got a little bit to do. Of course, this is what I was just mentioning before about getting the Pokedexes. As you can see, there's two on the table there, and one for me and one for Gary. Of course, that Bulbasaur never leaves the table. It stays there forever. And yeah. Alright, more talk. And Gary says something like he's going to go get a map from his sister, but he's not going to give me one. But then I just go and ask his sister. Maybe she has a crush on me or something, and she gives me one anyway. So once I get that, we're going to head back to, what's it called? Viridian City, that's right. And I'll probably end the episode there, guys. Grab the town map, of course, from his sister. And yeah. And then just head north, back to the Pokemon Center. And eventually we'll get some Pokeballs. That'll come in the next episode, and we'll try and catch a few Pokemon, I guess. Heading north through this grass, like I just did before. Wonder if I can make it through without getting in a fight. Probably not. I'll probably get one now. There we go, first square. Another Rattata. Just gonna try and beat it. Probably die. Don't die. Critical hit. Perfect. Can I make it? Oh, yes. Oh, no way. Anyway, it's in level 2. Perfect. Alright, so I'm just going to hit up the Pokemon Center and end the episode there, guys. If you've enjoyed this first episode of Pokemon Fire Red, well, it's not Fire Red actually, that's the future version. It's this red version, and if you enjoyed it, hopefully you have, and hopefully you'll tune in to the next one, which there'll probably be an annotation on screen right about now to take you there. But if you have enjoyed this episode, guys, please leave a like rating and head over to my channel and subscribe. No harm in doing that, I guess, and hopefully it'll keep you up to date if this sub box is actually working on these future episodes when they come out, if they're not already out now. So yeah, I'm going to leave the end the episode here, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, and hopefully you'll join me on this long adventure through Pokemon Red version, and yeah, see you later, guys. Bye.